I'm Marcos, CEO of Woop Environmental. For the last 3 years, I've been helping contractors scale their business by profiting more. I'm going to cover the number one concept that revolutionized the results that we've been able to give to our clients. And this actually took us from making our clients an extra $30K a year on average to making them up to $50,000 more every month. So I'll tell you exactly what this concept is and how you can use it in your business to start making more money today. There's two ways that a business can profit more. They can either spend less money or they can make more money. So let's talk about spending less money. This is the comfortable choice. You know what I mean? This is what people just like. It's not scary. It's familiar. You read anywhere you read about business that all the big companies cutting costs here, cutting costs there. You talk about governments when they're trying to fix the budget, they're like, all right, we need to cut costs here, cut costs there. And a lot of people in your life have probably told you to save money, right? When you're a kid, you want to get this new thing. Oh, save up some money for it, right? That's what you were told. So it's a very comforting idea. However, it's very limited. So let's talk about the limits of saving money. At most, you can save the amount of money that you're currently spending, but it's kind of impossible to save all of the money that you're spending without breaking the business. So let's say I have a plumbing business and I spend $100,000 a year on it, right? If I cut $80,000 from there, or if I cut everything, let's say I cut $100,000, at most, I'll get $100,000. But what happens to my revenue? Because I just had to fire everybody in the plumbing business. So I'm not going to do much plumbing. I'm not going to make much money, right? So it's impossible to save all of the money you spend because eventually you're just going to break the business. So saving money, while it's great, while it is that safe option that everybody's familiar with, and it seems to be all internal, it's very, very limited, and the amount of return is not that high, and it's never going to be an exponential return because we're talking about parts of a whole instead of adding brand new holes to it. Adding profits is kind of like cooking. So let's say that the taste of the meal is profits. So better taste is more profits. So let's say you go to cook a steak, but you notice that that steak has gone bad. So what do you do now? Do you try to season it more so it tastes better, or do you just go get a fresh one? Let's say the store is nearby and it's still open. Even if you season that steak more, it's always going to taste worse than a fresh steak. And with a fresh steak, we don't even need to season it for it to taste better than the one that's gone bad. So the meat is much more important than the seasonings. And business is the same way. If you focus on better meat, right, making more money, you'll profit a lot more. You can infinitely increase revenue. More revenue doesn't break the business in the same way that cutting costs would. Cutting costs can break the business in terms of you no longer have a business, but adding revenue can break the business in, oh shoot, we have no way of managing that, right? Oh, we need to hire more people for it. It's all issues that are fixable, whereas if you fire everybody in plumbing, how do you make money now, right? So the potential for a much larger profit when focusing on revenue is much higher and much easier to make more money, especially when you're a small business. So if we cut costs by 50%, that's a massive task. It oftentimes is going to be almost impossible to do without breaking everything. But doubling revenue is very feasible, especially if you're a small business. We actually just got in a client that doubled their revenue from 2024 to 2025. Okay. Now, if you ask us to cut their costs by 50%, we can't. There is nowhere where we can cut those costs and maintain revenue the same. But we can definitely double the revenue. That's exactly what we're working on right now with them. Don't optimize a shitty business. Focus on growth first and optimization second, right? So first we want to have a good steak to season, and then we focus on seasoning that steak well. Because if we don't have a good steak, it doesn't matter how we season it. It's still going to be bad. So look at how can you make more money overall right now and tackle that issue first. Then we worry about percentages at a later point. So while your business is still small, you need to just focus on the absolute profits rather than the percentages. Thank you for taking time for watching this video. If you did find it useful, I'd really appreciate it if you could share it with other people that can also find it useful. And anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video.
If you own a business and you want it to be a $10 million business, a $1 billion company, or you just want to have a great business that feeds you and your family for many years to come join us on our free 5-week business scaler challenge. It's a free 5-week challenge, as I said, in which you get to scale your business along other business owners. So you get a lot of really valuable insight from many industries, and you also get to know that you're not alone in the struggles you have, and you get to solve those issues not only with my guidance, but also with the perspective of other business owners. Link is down in the description, and then I'll leave the rest of this little clip with some testimonials from previous participants so you can see what they found.
We're talking about stuff that's not readily available every day.
What you've given are specific, narrow focuses.
I think it's worked very well. I've learned a lot.